In about 5 minutes, the elite panel will be going off. In about 5 minutes. Hey, everybody. Wow, that's enthusiastic. Thank you. Thank you. How's everybody doing? You guys having a good time at GunCon? That's pathetic. Are you having a good time at GunCon? See, there you go. A little bit of effort. Why is it always got to be the second time? Let's do it again. One more time. Are you having a good time? Thank you so much. Welcome to the elite panel. Now, the folks that are on stage right now are some of the longest running channels in the GunTuber space. These guys have been at it for a very long time. Some big subscriber counts up here. Some big egos to match. That's right, I'm putting you in check already. We've got one of my favorite people in the industry right now. This is Paul from Legally Armed America. Say hello to Paul. Next to him, we've got Mr. Tactical Toolbox, the only 2011 shooter I know that is more bougie than Jeremy. Next to him, we've got Mr. Sean Herron of We Like Shooting. Woo! And then we've got Gun Shorts himself, James Reeves. Now, this young man right here is a local boy, and he brings a better beard than me, and I'm really sad about it. Honest Outlaws here. And then we have a barista sitting down here with all the blackout coffee. This is Jared from Guns and Gadgets. This young man right here is one of the most knowledgeable people in our industry, in the GunTube space, and I promise you that. You have a tech question, this guy knows the answer. This is Gavin from Ultimate Reloader. And right next to me now is someone that has been on every single panel that I have ever done. Every single time this man has supported me, and it's amazing. This is Mr. Guns and Gear. Now, before we get kicking off, I want to give a big shout out to our live stream sponsor, Bowers Group, making some of my favorite suppressors in the industry, including the Verse 50, the War Dog K9, and a bunch of other stuff. Bowers Group is the company y'all need to thank. Give it a round of applause for Bowers Group. Now we have microphones on both sides. Now, if you have a question, you got to get up and go to one of these microphones. We would love it if you would do that right now. You got a question? Come up to a microphone. We're going to be taking live questions. We've got a lot of people out there watching. We want to say thank you to the people out there watching live on the internet. You guys are just as special. Sure, these guys came in and they could be here in person. If you can't, we love you anyway. Thank you for watching. Now, let's get a question for the third time. Third time today. First question, go ahead.
I'm very inquisitive. So, under what circumstances would you end a relationship with a sponsor? And have any of you had to end a relationship like that?
Wow, already. Okay, that's good. Okay. Who wants to crap on their former sponsors?
I'll do it.
Sean.
I volunteer.
Go ahead, bud.
Honestly, like most of our advertisers, we're pretty picky, so we only work with people after they've been on the show and understand what kind of nonsense they're getting into. But like honestly, just sometimes your contacts at a company change and it's not a good fit anymore. I think that's the biggest deal. Some of them don't pay their bills. That's a thing. But generally, it's just like when the vibe is not right, is absolutely when.
How would you describe the vibe?
You know.
You know that vibe.
It's the vibe.
It's the vibe.
James, pull the mic in.
It's the vibe.
Thank you.
Come on, dog.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I got a totally different answer. So if you've done too good of a job, sometimes you need to end the relationship.
What does that mean?
So if you've sold out of whatever barrel company, for instance, I was working with, they've got a backlog of a year. And, marketing at that point can hurt. So it's time to put a pause on it,
Is that a choice that you would make?
Yeah, if it gets to the point where I'm showing something that someone can't buy, obviously that's not a good fit.
That's fair. I think that's fair. Yeah. I think it's fair. Anybody else want to jump on that one?
Yeah, I'll jump in. Is this thing on?
Pull it in close.
For me, For me, it's a company that I've already been using and will continue to use, especially when we vibe. Is the word vibe?
Vibe.
When the management team and myself, we have similar thoughts, similar beliefs, that's typically when I will consider supporting a company or bringing them on as a sponsor.
All right, that's a great question. Come up here and grab some tickets. Now, guys, if you do ask a question, we're giving away more raffle tickets. So there is incentive to actually participate. How about that? On the right-hand side, we've got another question over here.
Yeah.
What's your name, man?
Jordan.
Jordan, thanks for coming, dude. We really, genuinely, all of us appreciate it. What's your question?
Question essentially is, we all found you on YouTube. Your YouTube channels are huge. You've inspired the previous panel to kind of start theirs up and do theirs. We've seen YouTube get worse and worse every single month with you can't even put a suppressor on or you're assembling something. Backup plan-wise, I know I hear Rumble and stuff like that. Are you guys looking into other avenues where you can still put your content out there without it being neutered?
So I'll start that off. You guys can think on that one. I think a lot of the quote-unquote backup platforms are piss-poor solutions to the problem that we face. YouTube is not interested in changing, which is really difficult. They don't care. We represent a very small portion of what they do. However, when you look at things like the actual active users on these platforms, which is something that's very important, we want people to see the content, right? It is a very, very, very small percentage of something like YouTube. So people say, go over on Rumble, but they leave that comment on YouTube, which means they're already watching on YouTube. It's a self-defeating thing, and it's very difficult because what needs to happen in order for a big shift, I'm not saying I want this to happen, but this is the way it would go. YouTube would have to cut all of us off all at once, and then a big shift would happen. Otherwise, people will stay on YouTube, and then they'll have some kind of backup plan. And I think it's accurate to say that we all have a different backup plan. Anybody else?
Yeah, that was a perfect answer, Brother John. I could not agree more.
Checks in the mail.
So I probably have.
I think the other problem is you got to remember that Google owns YouTube. So the other platforms, say you're searching a specific term like how to build this, things like Rumble don't show up in search. So they're somewhat suppressed regardless. But we all pretty much, I would say, simultaneously upload to Rumble and anything else that's a backup platform just in case so our content isn't gone forever. Yeah. But it's an ever-changing beast, and honestly, we just kind of wing it. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people also underestimate what it takes to build that platform, because we all hear in our comment section all the time that, why don't you just build another one? Well, a lot of people underestimate the server space and everything else involved in having that
it
amount of
costs an
traffic.
absolute fortune.
Correct. I mean, and we've tried it before, honestly. We personally have tried building a platform, and the moment that end user has even the slightest hint of buffering, they bail out. They want nothing to do with it, not understanding that you can't afford to build YouTube out the box. It's going to take an Elon Musk moment of buying YouTube in order to open up some of the, I guess, access that we would prefer to have.
Jump in there.
So I probably have the largest Rumble channel here. Odds are pretty good. So absolutely, that is my primary backup. It's also, excuse me, my voice is dying. But it's also why I joined Mug Club recently and partnered with them just to have another alternative, because why wouldn't you want to? Because for those that don't know, I was suspended all of January and had to work with.
You've been banned more than any of us combined.
Yeah, and I don't even swear on camera. But yeah, so, I mean, I'll try all of them, but what they said is also true.
We're actually doing a hybrid plan. So like for AR-15 build stuff, we'll show the AR-15 that we built on YouTube. And then I've got a lower build, for instance, that's coming out on Rumble. And I have a YouTube video that basically just says go to Rumble for that section. Can't show any of that procedure. But yeah, nobody's there yet, right? And until people have to go there, they won't go there.
Right. And because I think, everybody's a very small team up here, right? Everybody's an extremely small team. And to create exclusive content to incentivize people to go watch on a different platform is extremely difficult. it literally doubles the amount of workload, and I don't think everybody up here has the time to pull that off while still maintaining the other content. That's a great question. Come on up and get a ticket. Give them a round of applause. That's a great question. Now, before we get too far into this, since there's a bunch of you here and a bunch of you watching, I want to recognize somebody. The whole team at Brownells, the brand team, did an amazing job supporting me in this. Sure, it says Brownells, but I want to make sure that we shout out Roy Hill, who's not here right now, Josh Coburn, and come up here real quick. Just stand right here. This young man, Cody Hinton. Yeah. This young man helped make this possible. Thank you. Go shake that man's hand afterwards until there's a line. It's going to be great. It's really fun for us to watch.
Make sure you watch
All right. Left-hand side, you have a question.
How's it going? My name is Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate you being here.
Yes, I appreciate you holding this. So, as a creator, have you ever faced burnout, and what did you do to overcome that?
I got this.
That one.
I've been burned out for 5 years. So, when I started, if you look at everybody that's up here, we all have our thing. We all talk about guns, but one person might specialize more in one thing, like Gavin with precision rifles and, what have you. And I was always the build guy. I made tutorials, and they took that away in 2018. And honestly, ever since, I have struggled on what I want to do next, because I never wanted to be just a reviewer. I wanted to solve problems that I found, oh, this is a tricky trigger to install. How do I do this? And yeah, I publish that content on separate platforms, but it's not the same. And burnout, sometimes you just have to just log off for a week and not do any doom scrolling, because you start comparing yourself, not even realizing what you're doing. And so it's hard. It's always a struggle for me, at least, but you get through it somehow,
I'm burnt out right now.
What, you make 90 videos a day?
True.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I average about 51 to 62 videos a month, and with those videos behind
Yeah,
each
hold
one,
on. Say that one more time so that soaks in.
51 to 62 videos a month.
How
And
many
with-
days are in a month?
Sometimes
There you
31.
go.
And with each one of those comes 2 to 3 to 5 hours of research, dealing with politicians, reading cases, lawsuits. So burnout is absolutely real. But how I get through it is I need to make sure that us, the Second Amendment community, the future of America, who's going to save this country, needs to know exactly what's going on every day, because it's never going to stop. The attempts to take away our rights never stops. And we can't stop the ATF if we don't know what they're doing with pistol braces. We can't win cases. So that's kind of what drives me, but burnout is for real.
Well, my job.
I want to add real quick that the anti-gun movement, they never burn out, so I don't think we can.
Yeah, it's an undying beast that we're fighting.
Well, my job is easier than Jared's and more fun, so I get burnt out much less. And I just basically switch up what type of gun I shoot, and it's a good time for me. So, yeah.
I envy you, brother. I envy you.
That's it. That's all it takes?
Yeah, pretty much. I like guns, man. I like guns more than people, so I'm good.
That's a T-shirt.
Well, that's a great question. Thank you so much. Be sure to come up and get some tickets. We appreciate you. Hey, Orly, think about give me 1 second. I want to give another shout out to Bowers Group. They supported this. They make some amazing suppressors. They're great friends of all of ours, I believe. I think everybody up here's got something from Bowers. Give a big shout out to Bowers Group. They make some great suppressors. And now we're going to transition to our next sponsor, which is Henry Repeating Arms. If you don't know who Henry is, get out. No, seriously, they make some incredible rifles, all kinds of stuff. They've got a new semi-automatic that I think all of us are really enjoying. So be sure to check out Henry Repeating Arms. Now, live viewer question from the internet, Orly.
Oh, boy. We can't hear you.
Wait for it.
We've
There
only
it
got
is.
one so far. The guys are having a very lively conversation in the chat.
Is that
But
shocked?
one of them wants to know if anybody's getting their hands on the new Gershon 2311. They want to see some videos about that guy.
Anybody?
Could be sarcasm, I don't know.
Yes.
The chat is going off.
Yes.
Well, I imagine I'll get it. I can promise you that. I don't have it yet, but I will.
I'm gonna have that. Okay, great question. Let's come over here to the right. What's your name?
Janice Genovese, I just want to say thank you as a native Iowan for all of you being here and promoting this, and thank you again. My question is more on the medical side. What, in your opinion, do you think is the best, either IFAC or something either pre-prepared from a company such as Skinny Medic or My Medic, or would it be more advantageous to customize it to whatever your needs would be?
Sure. So, Medical Gear Outfitters, they supported our medical seminar here. They make some amazing stuff. Sean, I think you're pretty well qualified to jump on that one.
Sure. Yeah, I think that there's two parts to that question, right? There's, what is best, but what is best is having knowledge, right? Because properly applied knowledge will allow you to make up for deficiencies in equipment, all right? But at the same time, Medical Gear Outfitters, awesome. They make really good kits, and I have one specifically designed for my medical class called the Civilian Medical Kit at their website. Yeah, and they're great, and they are dialed into specifically what I teach in my class, so that at the end of the class, people have the equipment and the knowledge to properly apply it. And I think that's really important. So whether it's a Stop the Bleed class from anybody out there, and they're incredibly inexpensive, do that, and then just get the right kit. I think pre-built kits are awesome because it's people that have a lot of experience putting those things together and training to do specific things that we as civilians can apply in our daily lives.
And just remember, if it lasts longer than 4 hours, to call a doctor.
Yes. No bueno.
Thank you. That's a great question. Come up and get yourself some tickets. On the left, what's your name?
Holly.
Hi, Holly.
I was here last year, and just thank you guys for coming back. Thank you to the new ones that are here today. And it's grown so much from last year. It's an easier bit of a question. What is your favorite carry gun and why? Not a Glock.
Okay.
I know how some of you like Glocks. And James.
No comment.
James, where's the booty shorts? Come on now.
You missed him yesterday.
Yes, that's true. You missed him. Hey,
I so wanted these pants to be tearaways. I was waiting for that question and just be like, oh, really?
I want to make sure that this does not take 4 hours to answer.
I've actually got pictures if you would like to see the shorts.
Those are not shorts. Favorite EDC gun? I want to make sure I'm correct. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I am currently carrying an HK VP9.
Favorite's probably the Shield Plus.
Excellent choice.
For mountain carry, 329 PD and 44 mag, so I could do snake shot shells and 44 mag for bear and cougar.
ZevTech OZ9 compact.
Woo! When I'm not carrying my Colt Anaconda, I usually carry my Shield.
You do not. You're a dirty liar.
You said no Glocks, so I'm gonna have to say the Shield, or I'm sorry, the SIG P365 XL.
Okay.
It's really tough to beat right now.
Yeah, just my everyday carry is a P365 XL comped and red dot and all that nonsense. But if I'm wearing a suit, it's always the 10 milli high point.
It's not a Glock, but it is a Glock, but it's not made by Glock. It's a Shadow Systems MR920.
Okay.
I'm from South Louisiana, so it's a little hot. So summertime is P365, and wintertime is a gun that looks exactly like a Glock 19.
It's not a Glock, but it looks exactly like one.
Right.
Okay, great question. Thank you so much. Hey, guys, I just want to say thank you. Like, I'm sitting here looking out at all your faces. This is amazing. You guys are incredible for coming here, staying all day, being a part of this. We don't get to do this without you. Sure, the manufacturers support this, but the people really make this matter, so thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. All right, we don't have anybody standing over here. Guys, if you want to ask a question, just ask whatever you want. On the left, send it.
Hi, everybody. I was just curious what you feel is the biggest hindrance to the two-way litigative movement right now in the industry, and what is your solution to beat that?
Good question. Thank you.
Do you mind?
Have at it, sir.
The biggest hindrance is the lack of desire for people to make phone calls go meet senators and representatives in person because they're intimidated by the process. It's really easy. They're your employees. That's the biggest hindrance. There's 300 million gun owners. If we all could act as one, we would be unstoppable. How do we fix it? Conversations. Start talking to people in your family, your neighborhood, friends, the water cooler, join groups, Gun Owners of America. If you're not a member of GOA, check them out because they're doing a lot of work that you're not even aware of.
That's so
They're the
true.
ones fighting in court, going all the way to the Supreme Court. They're doing the yeoman's work. But we need to do more work as a group.
Anybody else want to jump on that one?
Yeah, I agree. Local involvement is like huge. Actually, waiting and testifying when they try to introduce nonsense. And like, I'm not going to pretend like I have been involved in that as much as I need to, but recently I got involved in it. And it's incredibly rewarding to look in their scummy eyes and tell them how things are going to affect regular, everyday people like us. It's good.
I'd like to make one quick point that I think that the 2020 election turned a lot of people off in thinking that voting matters. We understand that there's probably screwy things that happen. Nobody's denying that. I don't think anybody's denying that some screwy things didn't happen then. But if we all abandon the opportunity to vote and put the right person in office, we know we're going to lose. At least we have a fighting chance if we do go vote.
Kind of like a backdoor thing. I try to talk to people in my daily life, and as an example, there was a lady that was sitting next to me on the airplane on the way out here, and she was talking to the other lady about mass shootings and stuff, and you'd be amazed how many people don't understand that semi-automatics aren't machine guns. And so I kindly and very tactfully told her, and I could see a shift happening. I don't know if it completely turned, but she was like, I thought they were all the same. And so I think also, aside from us banding together like Jared was talking about and getting in touch with our representatives, is also just educating people nicely and not arguing. I think that's huge.
I've got to dovetail into that. I think that's a great point. I think it's very important for us to put a good face forward to the public, to be respectful. Many of you know I'm a litigator. I show up in court. I have never changed the judge's mind by calling him a redcoat cuck. It just doesn't seem to work.
Keep
so
trying.
If you want to change minds, it helps to be respectful of other people's viewpoints rather than just outright rejecting them, even if they're flat out wrong.
But you've tried?
I mean, look,
What's
contempt
the
of court
record
is
on
only
how many
$100,
times you've
right?
called
It
him
was
that?
worth it.
Are you like 0-5? What's the record on that one?
What on?
How many times do you call a judge that? Yeah, we'll skip that one. Okay, great question. Thank you so much.
Well, one thing I wanted to add, obviously we have great national groups, but people often forget about their state groups, which are very, very important. So not every state has a great one, but a lot of them do.
I'm literally pointing at the one for Iowa right now. They're here, Iowa Firearms Coalition. Big round of applause for those guys. Yeah, go support them. That's a great point, Mike. Thank you so much. Great question. You want some tickets? Come on up.
You're doing a great job. I'm so proud of you.
Hey, we got people on the right. Thank you so much. What's your name, man?
Aiden.
That is an amazing beard. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. This question is for James.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Uh-oh.
It's simple. When are you going to do a burn down of a Savage Renegade, the security or the home defense version?
Anytime. I mean, the order in which I proceed through the shotgun burn down is wholly arbitrary, I would say. I'll say this, the Stoeger, is it M3000 or something? Like I've got, I mean, are people out there interested in that? I know a lot of people, that's the one I get comments about the most. I'll do anything. Like I really enjoy, I hope it shows you guys, I really enjoy doing those burn downs. It's really fun to kind of see. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's an absolute blast to do. I wake up the next morning, I'm getting old, so my shoulders like a little creaky, and it actually, one thing that people don't realize, wears out your face. Your face feels like leather the next day after you shoot 500 rounds in an hour through a shotgun. But, guys, email me, james@tfb.tv. I'm always taking recommendations. Hell, if a shotgun shows up on my doorstep, I'll take it out. So there's no particular order. Email me, I'll do it. I'll be glad to.
Rad. Thanks, James. Great question. Come up and grab some tickets, brother. We appreciate you.
And thank you for watching that, by the way. Again, I really enjoy that content, so I appreciate everyone who watches the Shotgun Burndowns.
And James being from New Orleans, there's a very good chance that a gun might wind up in his yard, too, just arbitrarily.
It has.
Possible.
It has.
Hey, Jared.
Yes, sir.
What is all that stuff?
This is just some stuff from Blackout Coffee to give away to these cool people for showing up today.
Hey, why don't you just huck some of it?
All right. Anybody? I hope I don't hit anybody and poke their eyes out. Here's some hats.
Dude, that's distance right there. I'm surprised. That's like fourth row. Look at that.
Exact same spot.
Exact same one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is
My man.
K-Cups, so don't let it drop because it'll explode and it's not my
Oh,
responsibility.
this will be great. This is Tenacity Blend. Send it.
Holy crap.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you so
I
much.
legitimately thought those were like 4 pounds each.
Leave them-
I was
leave
like, if
them
you
up.
need a lawyer, I'm up here, guys.
I was like, his mouth started
I'm not
watering.
licensed to practice in Iowa.
I
but-
seen it.
Did you guys enjoy the Blackout Coffee today?
Yes.
Good. The promo code is TGC. Go use it. Hey, Orly, do we have any more live questions?
Orale.
We do, and the chat is moving at quite speed right now, so I'm not getting names.
Hey, shout out to everybody that's watching live. We really appreciate you. That's awesome. Thank you.
We got one regarding Henry. Anyone worked with the new Henry Revolver? What'd you think if you did? And favorite truck gun from the group?
All right, we'll do the first one. Anybody the Henry Revolver yet?
I have. It's surprisingly smooth, the action.
Why would you say surprising?
Because it's their first offering.
Okay.
So, I mean, even compared to like a tricked out Smith & Wesson Performance Center, a non-performance center, it's smoother in just about every way.
What's the price point on those? I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm the wrong guy to ask
Let's
for that.
just make it up. All right, what was the second question?
Truck gun.
Favorite truck gun from the group.
All right, we're going to start down there with Paul. Favorite truck gun, go.
Remington 870 with the Marine finish on it.
Yeah.
I don't leave guns in my truck.
That's fair.
I don't either. I just carry it with me.
Okay.
Maverick 88, Mossberg Maverick 88, incredible value. And, you know, that has nothing to do with Mossberg, no sponsorship, anything like. If you guys saw the burn down, 500 rounds in 70 minutes, no malfunctions whatsoever. It's incredibly capable for how cheap it is. I was positive it was going to fall apart, but it's great.
I don't use a Maverick 88 because I have taste, but they are awesome. I have 2 of them. I just don't bring them out in public. My truck gun is a BCM 14.5.
Beretta
Fancy
13.
boy.
Beretta 1301 Tactical.
Great gun.
8-inch CMMG Banshee 300 Blackout suppressed.
Blackout, okay.
Not that I have a way to mount it yet, but I think it's cool.
I need to know where y'all's trucks are.
Right.
You're going to be missing some windows.
I actually
Tell who lives in the city.
Right. I actually use a PSA nitride mid-length build kit because I don't care if it gets stolen, but it works.
That's a good answer. I don't have it yet, but I'm going to do a sweet build with LMT Defense. We just talked about it recently. The Battle Wagon needs a proper gun to go with it, and yes, it will be yellow.
Noted.
Yeah. That's
Noted.
right. Yeah. Sean and I did drive-bys on his range out of my van, so it's already been broken in, but, you know, the LMT will be a part of it. All right, on the left, what's your name, man?
Hi, my name is William.
Hi, William.
I was wondering, other than seeing James in booty shorts, what keeps you guys going through all the years?
What kept us all
It'll
going?
get you going, I promise. And your mama and your sister, too.
You know, one of the things that keeps me going, and I keep saying this, like it's this. You know, I spent a lot of time and making a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails to a lot of people, and getting the reward of you folks being here is on another planet for me. This is incredible. Anybody else got something to go with that?
Big new challenges. So for me, I started reloading, obviously. And then I didn't just want to make the ammo, I wanted to make the guns. So I started to get into chambering, and then it's Cerakote. And so I'm always looking to learn new skills and share that on the channel. And there's no shortage of cartridges to reload or guns to build or really anything. So.
And his shop is absolutely incredible. I was just there recently. I'm telling you guys, it was so good.
I keep trying to buy them all, but they keep making more, so I guess I'll just keep buying them until they stop making them.
I feed off the audience's energy. You guys are TFB TV, and just being able to have that conversation, even if you're just talking to a camera, and then getting all the feedback, it just keeps me going. I'm never going to go away as far as I know.
Starvation.
That keeps you motivated?
Clearly doing all right.
Mine is I don't want the people that want to censor us, I don't want to let them win. So, like, no matter how tired I get, I still have to keep going because I just don't want to let them win. I just work too hard.
On the back of that, exactly what he said, I think one of the things that somebody talked about earlier, the anti-gun movement is doing such a good job to give bad information out there, and I think a lot of us, we see so many new people coming into the gun industry that we feel like it's almost a responsibility, if nothing else indirectly, to make sure that we're putting out equally good information to dispel those myths and those rumors that the anti-gun people feverishly put out. They're not resting on anything they do. So I think a lot of us feel the need to make sure there's good information out there, not just what they're putting out.
For me, it's you all. During this last push on
But I said that already. You can't take that one.
Yeah, stand by. Stand by. During this last push for House Joint Resolution 44, you all made so many calls to Congress. I had 2 U.S. representatives tell me why they failed to show up for work because you guys pressured them so damn much. That's what we need to keep doing. Because when they start answering to their employees, we start winning.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I hate communists. Seriously.
So that, come up and get some tickets, brother. I appreciate it. While you're walking up here, I just want to say another shout out to Henry Repeating Arms. They sponsored that portion of the panel, and we really appreciate it. Now, our next one happens to be sitting in the front row. Samson Manufacturing, that's samson-mfg.com, makes some absolutely incredible parts for all kinds of guns. You definitely need to go to their website right now. Pull out your phone and do it. I don't care if you're sitting here doing it. Check out Samson Manufacturing. These guys are incredible. They're such good guys, and they make some great parts. Thank you guys for supporting this. We really appreciate it.
The A-Team stock is incredible for the Mini 14.
See?
Thank you
See?
for bringing that back.
I agree. MP5, their handguard, palm-proof.
See? See? It's that simple. All right, my man. What's your name?
My name is Blake, and since you're all like kind of big in the gun community, like you've probably been working with some of the gun communities about certain guns. What's something that they talked about coming out or creating, but then backed out that you kind of wish they would have done?
So a gun that never came to be?
Like, they made a prototype or something and they showed it off, but then they just never came to fruition that you kind of wish they did.
I mean, there's so many Vaporware guns.
Which one do you wish, like, the most they would have made?
Semi-automatic MP7. It doesn't need to, you know what I mean? It
Yes!
needs to be out. I don't care what it is. HK's here somewhere. Make me a civilian MP7.
That's fair. That's fair. Anybody else? That's a tough question.
What he said.
Wow. So we had a reliable RP9 thrown out from the audience. Anybody else?
I don't want to get in trouble with this, especially because HK is here, but the VP9CC or the CC9, like the HK micro compact, 10-round, 1-inch. I know it exists. I've shot it. I've handled it. I saw it in Germany. I don't want to get in trouble, but, come on, guys, let's pick it up a little bit.
I want to add that I saw that video and I also want that gun, so
There are some German guys waiting for you in the back.
Yeah, I know. Goodbye. It was nice knowing you guys. Auf Wiedersehen.
Since we're talking bad about people that are here, Canik Overseas makes a lot of really cool guns that aren't here yet, so hopefully those come in. But they make a ton of really cool ones, like long guns as well.
I think it's important to make sure that you guys understand that companies like HK and like Canik that bring guns in from other countries, the U.S. version of that brand is not always the ones making those decisions on what gets here. And sometimes the U.S. government stands in the way, or their government stands in the way. So that gets very complicated very fast. I would just like to see a minigun that I can carry in my purse. That's all. That's all. Thank you for the question, brother. Come up here and get some.
I just want to make full auto legal again.
Yes.
That's all I want.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, for everybody, all the time, always.
Yes.
It is legal. It's just really expensive.
Right.
Dude, it is so freaking expensive. You know, like what's an M16 worth right now?
35 grand.
All of it?
30 grand. Just a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's just lower.
Yeah. He just said the lower is $35,000. Thanks, ATF. All right. On the left.
Thank you. My name's Todd. I'd like to thank everybody. Mike, been watching you a lot about the brace. Appreciate all the help. I don't have to have my boating accident now, so just to let you know. So,
They're very common these days.
yeah,
I hear.
I've heard.
I've heard that too.
Anyway, I'd just like to bring up the fact that where do we battle the, I'll just throw it out there, the Democrats, okay, that are, Sheila Jackson Lee was on a YouTube video stating that a 50 caliber AR is so deadly, and I mean, where do we start with these people? And the mainstream media, I think we can all agree, is pretty left-leaning, and where do we go?
Okay, so I'm gonna kick that one off. Give you all a second to think on that. One of the things I think that we're seeing evolving before us is that no one trusts mainstream media. No one, not even the people that used to. And I think that erosion of trust is creating this sort of fallout. It's like when a country falls apart. There's a vacuum, right? And what that means for us is that it's our duty, and not just us up here, it's everybody in this room's duty to go above and beyond to educate. You know, you're never going to convince somebody by arguing with them. People don't change their minds by being shouted at. Yep. However, it's important to try and take somebody to the range, do the educational stuff, the things we always say. Anybody else?
When you get a dope like Sheila Jackson Lee who opens her mouth and says
absolute dope.
stupidity,
What a good word for her.
She's actually helping us because she's proving how inept she is and how little she knows about what she's voting on.
But she's from Texas.
Take those tools and explain to people who don't know about guns why she's wrong. Because unfortunately, Americans, not a lot of people like to do a lot of research. They tend to just believe what they're told because it's easier. So there are people who believe what she says, but if you can tell them how wrong she is, you start to switch minds, and that's what we need to do.
Flip a switch.
Rad, great question. Thank you, man.
Yep.
Come up here and grab some tickets. Hey, Orly, start thinking about a question. We'll come back to you after the next one, my man, with the emotional support machine gun shirt. That's fantastic. Thanks for being here. What's your name?
Joe.
Joe,
this
thanks,
might
man.
be directed more towards Jared with just when he revealed how many videos he puts out a month. How do you filter out which ones you're going to do first, which one, you know, or anyone? How do you decide what content you're going to put out more before, like if you have a list?
Good question. How do you decide? That's for you.
For me, it goes by severity of the effect on the country itself. Because I get a lot of people who are like, say, how come you haven't talked about my state? I will get to all the states if I could, but if I think the masses are better directed at the moment to stop, say, pistol brace, frame receiver rules, ATF as a whole, NFA, I want more people to do that. And then we can focus on the states, because right now the ATF and the Joe Biden's administration they're subverting the Constitution with unelected bureaucrats. We need to stop that like now. So that for me, if something's popping, I want people to know about that immediately. And then, I mean, I want to say it sounds like less serious, but if there are some bills that really don't stand a chance, I'm not going to hit on it right away because I know it's not going to fly. It's dead.
You mean you don't want to talk about Guam first?
Hey, man, that could tip over.
It could? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, if there's so many people on it, it might tip over.
We're learning things today. Anybody else want to talk about how they come to their? Go ahead, Mike.
So for me, it's a combination of new things, right? Because when gun's new, people want to know about it. So I will prioritize it for that. And then after that, it's literally just the order it came in. I just go through the list.
Yeah, that's. I mean, with TGC News, we, obviously that's a weekly thing, and there's not really a batting order there. It's just, how whatever makes sense for the show. But very much like Mike, sometimes I'll prioritize something that I just want to shoot more. I'll like skip the line, like, oh, that seems cool. I've been waiting for that for a while, something like that. But generally speaking, it's just however it came in, let's rock and roll. Give everybody a fair shot. That's not about, it's not about like, oh, I'm just being lazy. It's about everybody has to get that fair shot. Anybody else want to jump on it?
Sometimes, like, you might have a gun that's like 10 videos back, but then it starts trending, like on YouTube in general. So you just push it to the front so you can ride that trend. And that's how we're able to get more eyeballs on the videos of people who probably have never been exposed to gun content before. And so, yeah.
Great. Thanks. Good question, man. Come up and grab some tickets. I want to say thanks to all of you guys for actually being engaged. I can see all of your faces, like you're actually. I won't curse at you all. You actually care. Thank you. Next question. What's your name?
Name's Vikram, and I was wondering, what's your favorite part of what you do? Like the toys, travel, people, etc.
Okay, great question. What is our favorite part of what we do?
Sleeping till noon.
This, honestly, like the camaraderie that I have with these guys that I've known for so many years now, and coming to events like this and seeing the companies, and like what we do is it's cool and it's fun, and it is a grind, and you spend a lot of time by yourself, just editing or filming or doing all the thing. But when you come here, it's like this is what I live for.
Yeah, going back, I was just kidding about the noon part, but I do love that.
He does sleep till noon, though.
I do. Sometimes 2 p.m. I think the best part of this is I work just on the entrepreneurial side of things. It's exciting to know you might be deleted tomorrow in a weird way, because it keeps you on your toes and you don't get complacent like you would in a normal job. So your mind is always turning like 24/7, and to me that just keeps me more excited about it. Yeah.
For me, it's something that I don't think I could ever work for somebody else. I have learned more in the last 8 years of my life working for myself than I could have in 40 years in anybody else's job. This is a massively eye-opening journey that I'm personally on, and to be able to meet incredible people, travel all over the place, and just get to look at cool stuff. Like, I'm a geek. I want to know all the new stuff and why it's cool and how it works and all that. And I want to be able to share my excitement with people. And I don't think I could do that working for somebody else, because somebody else is in control. So that's kind of the thing that really I love.
For me, honestly, I can now be a dad and a husband. My old job, working around the clock, every holiday, every birthday, that kind of took a toll. So for me to be able to set my own schedule and be present, it's something that I value tremendously. And your support on YouTube has made me be able to do that.
That sounded like a line out of a movie. With your support.
I'm going to say the reward is equal to the challenge, which with each piece of content. So if I'm taking on something new or doing something really cool, the team did something cool with the edit, the reward of publishing it and maybe doing a premiere and chatting it up in the chat window and just seeing people's enthusiasm and all that, and the feedback from around the world too. The fact that people are into what we're doing and all continents, it's pretty.
Shout out to Rock Chuck Olympics.
Yeah,
you guys need to tune into Ultimate Reloader. I co-hosted with Gavin on his range. It was an incredible experience. Go watch it.
That was another one of these projects where it's like we're doing something completely new. Live shooting stages and event coverage and us co-emceeing and just the fact that the industry wanted to get behind us and other content creators and influencers. It was super good time.
The amount of times that I caught him off guard with some very, very foul language was very numerous. It's my favorite part of.
We're a family channel, John.
Yeah. What's great is my channel is also quote unquote family friendly. I just really enjoy making people laugh.
Mine's not.
No, yours is absolutely not. No. Where's Jeremy?
Right there.
There he is. That is one of my favorite curse words in the industry right there. Just you as a being, you're a curse word, yeah.
So I make a lot of content oriented at new shooters, and so helping people get into firearms ownership is super rewarding for me. And the comments, the comments they give.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I would say just getting people the best stuff. You know, like my whole life has been a search for the best gun, for the best, purpose or whatever your purpose is. And just trying to figure out what the right gun for everybody is, because there's a different gun for everybody. And that endless search of trying to find like the best thing for everybody. I would say that's mine.
Yeah.
I thought the answer to that was a Maverick 88. That's what you said just a minute ago.
It is sometimes.
Thank you, Vikram. We appreciate you, brother. Round of applause for Vikram. Come up and get some tickets, brother. Appreciate it. Hey, I want to give another shout out to Samson Manufacturing, samson-mfg.com. You guys are seeing that on the screen, I hope, if we did our jobs. I really appreciate everybody out there watching live. Of course, everybody in front of us here, but everybody that's out there watching live, we really do appreciate you. Be sure to check out samson-mfg.com. And our next sponsor is Taurus. Taurus is here. Now, how many of you have shot a Taurus? Now, I was very against Taurus for a long time. I'd heard a lot of stories. And then I took the time, I gave them a chance, and I shot the G3. And I was legitimately surprised with how good that is and the turn that company has taken in a really positive direction. So shout out to Taurus for supporting this portion of the live stream. Thanks. Let's give them a big round of applause. We really appreciate that. All right, Orly, hit me with an online question. Thank you so much.
Orale. Yeah. All right. Again, this chat is flying along. There's a lot of people in the chat. Thanks for everybody coming in. Easy one here. Choice of the favorite weapon in the zombie apocalypse.
All right. That'll be fast.
240 Lima.
240
50 BMG.
A tank.
I would probably say probably an AR with a D60 and then a German greatsword. I'd go with that.
Okay. All right.
How can you not go with any 12 gauge? I mean, come on, the carnage, the potential, the possibilities.
Shout out to the Genesis 12 that is back here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Woo! That thing is amazing. Hey, my mom shot that. Raise your hand. My mom shot a full auto 12 gauge the other day. Last year was a 40 mil. This year, full auto 12 gauge. Keep going. Sorry.
What was the question?
The zombie apocalypse gun.
Just say Killdozer.
Yeah. I did just like a short 308 battle rifle.
Okay.
Tank.
Jared said that.
Oh, I didn't listen.
Say Killdozer.
Another tank.
Another tank.
A more different tank.
I'm going to try to make this quick. We actually...
Not quick.
He's like, I've been in the zombie apocalypse.
Right. I almost been there. Lake Charles, Louisiana got a direct hit by Hurricane Laura in 2020.
Oh, good
and
point.
this
He
was
has been
already
there.
after COVID was in full swing. So you can imagine the chaos. We lost power for 2.5 weeks. When you think sitting in your seat right now, what is my crap hit the fan gun? It's way different than when crap is actually hitting the fan, to be honest with you. There are guns that I knew would be my crap hit the fan guns that I did not grab when Hurricane Laura hit, and you had to grab one or two. So I grabbed a Glock 19 and a pump action shotgun because I knew salt water coming in from the Gulf could have an effect on anything else. I wanted to be able to manage that pump. So I literally grabbed the first pump action shotgun that I had in a Glock 19.
How far are you from the coast?
About 20 miles.
Okay.
It made a direct hit on us at, I think it was 150 miles an hour when it hit.
Is that all?
Yeah, that was it.
Good God.
I'm changing my answer to a case of White Claws and the Pen 15.
Right.
I'm going to say a third tank.
Right.
All right. Great question. Thank you, Orly. You have another one for me?
Yeah, this one's a little bit more, not so funny and zombie-like. Guy's putting it in here a lot. He says he was convicted at 19 for a nonviolent felony that he committed at 17. He's 44 years old now. He has a wife and 2 kids. He just wants to know, how does he protect his family with equal force?
Go ahead, Mike.
Air guns. Modern air guns are insane. They're full auto, suppressed, and super powerful, and shipped to your door.
Great answer. Yeah, sure. Great.
Hopefully we have some changes coming forward where that fixes it for you.
Uh-oh.
I would say spear. I mean, to be honest with you, spear's easy, it's cheap, and if you broke into somebody's house and they had a spear, you'd leave.
Like Aquaman?
Well, whatever.
And just bludgeon people
A
to death
pardon.
with your fists. All right, great question. Thank you to the live watching audience right now. We really appreciate you guys. Seriously. My man over here on the right, what's your name?
Josh.
It's hot mic, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. What's your question?
I've watched this event grow each and every year since it started in the NRA. Small meeting room.
You all right? Don't die. Please don't die.
Medic.
That's
Went from a
expensive.
Small little room to now we're here. What are your plans for it in the future?
You know, I've had that question come up a few times during this, and I think I will have a clearer answer once the dust settles, so to speak. You know, there are a lot of things that I won't know about until afterwards, and we're going to find out. This is incredible. You know, when more and more brands started coming out of the woodwork to be a part of this, it's like, oh my gosh. You know, I mean, I'm running around, wow, you know, like this is awesome. And then all of it, like to go from one panel to 3 and have people sitting in the audience every time and watching live, like this has evolved in ways that I couldn't have imagined. The amount of support for me, Brownells, these creators, everything, all of these brands, I don't know what the future holds. I can't see it yet. But holy crap, we can't stop. We can't stop because look at, are you having a good time? We can't put a stop to that. We can't put a stop to that. Brownells has been an incredible partner. Cody, raise your hand one more time. That young man and his team, the brand team here, they have been an incredible help. And everybody else, all the brands, I mean, this is a very, very difficult and complex thing to put together. And I know that doesn't really answer your question, but we're going to find out, and I will let you guys know once I see it, once I have that vision. All right, come up and get some stuff. Round of applause for that question. Thank you so much. Also, thanks for acknowledging that we've technically been doing GunCon for a very, very long time in one format or another. I appreciate you.
Coffee, man. Want some coffee?
Yeah, grab some coffee.
I don't want to
brother.
bring it home. So.
Hey, be sure to go to blackoutcoffee.com/TGC. Yes, that code is TGC for a discount at Blackout Coffee. Mr. Shinzing, LFD Research. Check out that channel, guys, by the way. LFD Research, great channel on YouTube.
Thanks. Given all your guys' time shooting machine guns, I'm wondering what is each of your favorite machine gun to shoot?
Ooh. All right, we're going to start all the way down there because this young man has enough experience for everybody. Go ahead.
This sounds corny, but an Uzi. I really enjoy shooting a full auto Uzi. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, an Uzi. That's an interesting choice.
I don't have a lot of experience, but the MP5.
Yeah, my MP5, I think.
I think those are guaranteed crowd pleasers. Uzi, MP5. The MP7, incredible. Sorry, I'm using like basically 4 answers. The P90. The P90 is so incredible to shoot, full auto. There's video out there. I've posted clips before. I can fire it upside down with my pinky and keep it on target. Like, it is incredible. Wow. So that's one of my favorites.
The MP5 is awesome, but I'm probably going to have to go PPSH.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The Vector, just because it's so damn ugly, but it's fun to shoot.
300 blackout AR with 220 grain subsonics.
Oh, that's good.
The Dishka. I love the Dishka.
I've never shot a Dishka. What's that like?
It's an experience. It's a full body experience. It is. It's a concussion, man. Like, you rock when when you shoot it. So it's awesome.
How you feeling, buddy? You okay?
I'm good. So I literally couldn't talk at all last night. So this is a huge improvement.
Yeah, you're doing great. Doing great. I really appreciate it. I am terrible, and I love all of the machine guns that I've shot in some reason or another. You know, the PPSH 41, the Genesis 12 is the new favorite. That I was surprised at how easy that was to control. Like, for real, that is absolutely amazing that they pulled that off. And a full auto 50 Beowulf, and and I'm also going to say a full auto Maxim 9. That is a riot. That is an absolute riot to shoot. All right, thanks for the question, brother. Come up and grab some tickets.
See, I wish I would have known that when I was single. I would have been like, are you ready for a full body experience? And then I'm taking you to shoot a dushka.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to, one more. So Mike let me shoot one of your Colts, the one you had at Eric's shoot. I don't know what it was.
It's the Colt LMG, and it has a unique recoil system that basically eliminates recoil. I mean, it's comical.
It's one of those guns that you shoot and you just start laughing while you're shooting it.
Unfortunately, to my knowledge, there's only 3 of them in America. So,
And who has one? There you go. There you go. Thanks, Mike. Matt, RTT Guns and Gear. There's another channel you should check out. Hey, I heard that half-ass round of applause. Let's do it.
So with regularly record-breaking background checks and gun sales, all kinds of new shooters coming in, with arguably one of the most well-known, some of the most well-known YouTubers out there, what advice would you have for some of these people, people new into guns that would be wanting to start a channel? What's the best advice other than patience with YouTube?
Just do it. I think one of the hardest things for people is to go, what if it's not good enough? What if I suck? What if people are mean? All of those things. And the only way forward, and it is very difficult to mentally overcome for a lot of folks, including myself, is just take that next step. Because that's the only way you get forward, is just take another step, see what the hell happens, and go for it. Anybody else?
Get a mentor.
I would add, keep doing it. Because you're never going to be an overnight success. It just doesn't work that way. Maybe some people, but not for most people. You just got to keep making videos. Eventually, you're going to get better, and eventually, a couple are going to hit, and you'll build a fan base. It's just a matter of being persistent.
And get a mentor. These guys, a lot of them that I know, and specifically like Jim Harmer from Backfire, I was just talking with him, and he was talking about how he's using AI to help shape some of his storylines and get better ideas. And I thought AI was creepy and didn't want to touch it, and so now I'm reconsidering that, right? So I've been inspired by a lot of people how to do my job better, how to do better content, and why not fast track your success by getting some good insights,
One of the things that I think is also really important is just talk to your friends. I'm fortunate that my friends are up on this stage, so I can call some guys that have a lot of experience. To give you an example, Sean down there, raise your hand, buddy. That guy right there, that fella. We talk almost daily, and it is everything from what is your next thumbnail, what is your title, what's your video about, what are you doing, how are we all evolving, how do we get better. All of those things can be very simply had by just asking a question. And everybody up here is super receptive to helping new people. So that's a very important thing for people to remember. Like, hey, if you're starting a new channel, send one of us a link. Well, oh yeah, that's cool. Try this, try that. Yeah, nobody's a jerk. Well,
maybe me. Maybe. I'd say don't take yourself too damn seriously, because
don't tell me what to do.
I will. A lot of people, I did it myself. I still do it sometimes. I want to have that one take where I don't have any edits. I want to, know everything about everything that people don't. You can't do it. It's humanly impossible. A lot of us know James Yeager, God rest his soul. He told me one time, your audience wants to hear from you. So if you have to make how to clean a Glock video, they want to hear you say it. They don't want to hear anybody up here say it. So don't take yourself too seriously and make videos that people want to see, but they want to see you present it.
I would just say be consistent. When you look at YouTube channels that fail, it's ones that are not consistent. You have to put the content up, and you have to do it consistently.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean, do a Jared schedule. Honestly, that's.
I don't recommend my schedule.
Yeah, don't do that.
I posted one video last month.
Yeah, and if you're only capable of doing one a month, roll with one a month for a while. If you need to shift that around, just do it once a month. Make yourself do it.
But just be there. Like when you tell your audience you're going to be there, because they need to know they can rely on you to get the information. That's all.
Yeah, great point.
Learn how to use a camera. I think that there are a lot of people who are real, and I'm not saying that to be condescending. I mean, like, there are a lot of people who are really good who never take off because they never bother to learn how to use settings in a camera. That's number one. Actually, the number one is be passionate about it. If you don't love it, you're not going to be good at it. I promise you that. There are people that get into it because they want to be on YouTube, they want to be a YouTuber, they want to make money. You can fool some of the people some of the time. You can't fool all the people all the time, and the audience can see through a lack of passion. So do it only if you love it.
If I can add just a little more to that.
No.
I would take a month. I'm not listening to you. I would take like a month and honestly just learn the art of YouTube and study. There's so many amazing channels out there. Like, forget guns. You're already passionate about them. That's the thing. That's the easy part. You're passionate. You want to teach people. You want to do cool stuff. You want to have fun projects. That's awesome. That's easy, right? That passion is great. Spend some time learning how to make thumbnails, learning what is a good title, learning how to write good descriptions. Spend some time learning what editing is and how to edit and how to tell a story with editing and how to tell a story in general. Like, these are things that I think we neglect so much. And when my buddies hit me up and they're like, hey, what do you think about this? I'm like, yeah, like it's not interesting because all these things you didn't learn first. You have the passion for the guns. You're so into the guns, but everything else fell by the wayside. So like, put the guns away for a month and spend time, because there's the most amazing channels out there that I watch like almost every single day just to remind me how to do all those things, because you have the passion for this. Like, go figure out how to do the rest of it, because that's what hangs everybody up for a while.
Yeah, and to reinforce that, none of us were good when we started.
Yeah.
None of us.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's right. Sit down. Sorry. Stand up. I got nothing.
Yep.
None of us were good. My first video on my old channel is still there. It is absolutely garbage. Garbage. But here I sit, a much better presenter than I was because of repetition and consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it a lot. Really, just keep doing it.
Mine still are garbage.
That's fair.
I would say get out of your echo chamber, like, because we all love each other, so we want to watch each other, but sometimes we'll subconsciously start sounding and looking like each other in the way we present ourselves. So I spend a lot of time not watching gun content so I can get ideas from the mainstream and try to trend jack that so I don't appear like a gun guy, quote unquote, however they stereotype us. So I try to take a mainstream approach, because if it works for them, it'll work here. It's just a, different interest group. You know what I mean?
He's working on becoming the Peter McKinnon of the gun world.
I guess so. I don't know.
He already is.
I think. Great question, Matt. Thank you.
Real quick, I want to say I think that to his point that the next guy that is going to have 2 million subscribers is out there right now with only 100.
Yep. Yeah.
And he's doing his thing and probably will end up doing it better than everybody sitting up here.
And he'll fail for like 4 years, and then he'll blow up out of nowhere.
Correct.
Yeah, like
That's
a
true.
weird Mr.
Brandon
Beast.
Herrera.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt. Come get a ticket, man. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, it's time to rotate around our sponsors here. Taurus supported that last portion, and like I said, they make some incredible handguns. You guys really need to go check them out. Tell you what, thank you to Taurus for supporting that. We're back around to Bowers Group. You ever heard of them? Have I ever talked about them? Yeah, you guys have heard about them. Bowers Group, check them out. They've got a great website, great cans. In fact, one of the first suppressors I ever bought was one of their 50 cal cans, because I'm a weirdo and I have a 50 cal can. But they make some incredible stuff for all of your other guns as well. Check them out. We love Bowers Group.
I just moved to America and bought 3 suppressors.
I think you might need a Bowers Group.
I might.
You might?
What to make that work?
You raise your
Excuse
hand.
me, Mr. Patton. Can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Love you. Miss you. Mean it. Okay. On the left, my man, what is your name and what is your question?
My name is Ryan. As a writer for Tundra Tactical Channel, when you guys are trying to come up with ideas, do you ever have trouble coming up with an idea, and what do you do to get inspiration to come up with an idea for the next video? This is not as much for the news channels as much, but the more open content, kind of like what Sean does and stuff.
So I'll speak for myself. If I can't make an idea work, I'll just set it aside and move on to something else. Because if I force it, if I'm trying too hard to make an idea work, it will come out like crap. Anybody else?
Yeah, I have a Google Drive just packed with ideas that never worked, and eventually they will. You know what I mean? You just got to let it go for a while, do something else you want to do, and then keep going.
Yeah, I battle with that a lot, and honestly, like I was saying earlier, like, watch stuff on how to tell a story, because like a review is a story, right? Ultimately, but being a better storyteller is like where I spend a lot of my time, just trying to spark something, and it generally works. And again, don't be afraid to just set it aside and work on something else.
And here's a prime example of that. Sean just started a new channel and rebooted because he's like, you know what, this other thing is not working. I've been trying. He rebooted and now created the channel called Dangerous Freedom, which you all need to subscribe to. He is putting out some incredible work. Incredible work. Like, this young man has taken the time to learn storytelling on a different level.
I'm old AF, bro.
You sure? You don't look that old.
Oh, thanks.
You don't look that old. Somebody thought I was older than you not that long ago.
His kids are older than you.
It's true, actually.
Yeah, it is true.
Almost.
But yeah, I think that's.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So check out Dangerous Freedom and don't be afraid to push. Yeah. Great question. Come get some tickets, brother. On the right.
Do you guys want a heavy kind of political question or a more fun YouTube question?
Fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I say fun, personally.
Fun. All right.
Both.
In your experience, what kind of content are you putting out that you notice a large spike of like subscribers jumping?
None.
In order for people like me who are showing my friends that aren't into guns, like sending them links, like this is the kind of stuff that people are really enjoying, and you're seeing like spikes in subscribership, so those videos are clearly doing well, and then I can like use that information to influence those people.
So basically, what kind of stuff is blowing up for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, it's political videos. I don't like making them, but feel I have to. But for whatever reason, they blow up.
Yeah, absolutely. You're good at it.
I have one video that's probably contributed more, probably 30% of my subscribers, and that's 223 versus 556. And what inspired me to do that was I couldn't find the information distilled down in the way that I wanted to understand it on the chamber side, on the ammo side, right? It's a two-part equation. People want to overly simplify, so I did it. I did it how I wanted to see it as a viewer, and it's so hard to see. You publish a video you think is going to do really, really well at tanks, and then you publish something and it's like, I'm just really not in love with this, but the audience is, so you just got to go with your gut and try different things. And then like for me, cartridge comparisons do really well, 243 versus 6 Creed, for instance. So we use that as a template, and we just kind of look at different comparisons that we can do. And when you don't have an idea, you just, draw from the bank, as it were.
Anybody else?
For me, it's like, well, in the old days, now it doesn't scare me, but I would do what scared me. So like stepping outside of my comfort zone on types of content, because I wasn't into guns before I started YouTube. I only owned a gun for 6 months before I started the channel. And so I leveraged YouTube as a way to learn. And I wanted to create content that I wasn't seeing, which at the time was custom Glock parts. Nobody was talking about it. And so you find a hole and fill it. But just sometimes you get these gut instincts on a video idea, but you might be afraid to execute it because it's not something that a normal gun channel would do. I say do that. Yeah.
For me, it's pulling back the curtain. The videos that I do that do the best as far as creating new subs is when I show you the Supreme Court debating the Bruin decision, when they're actually talking about the case, talking to the attorneys, watching them pitch it, or when I'm showing votes on the Senate floor or the House floor, because that's not a lot of people get to see that. So that usually kindles people's idea because they don't get to see that every day, and I kind of show what's really happening.
There's also two types of effect, if you will. There's the flash in the pan, something that's currently relevant and political, and then there's that sort of evergreen content that just keeps chugging. For me, it's reference content. It just keeps building and building and building.
That's a great question, man. Thank you. Thank you for that. Come on, grab some tickets. We've got another question on the left. Round of applause for this young man in the green shirt. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, I'm Heather. Oh, sorry. So there's a lot of obviously legit men content creators. There's not a whole lot of legit women content creators. From you guys, what specific things would you like to see for women content creators? And then another question is, do gun bunnies actually have a place in the industry, or are they more of a hindrance to what legit women content creators are trying to do?
Did you just assume my gender?
Someone calling human resources on this one?
Oh, no.
Hold my beer.
I think with the vast majority of new gun owners being female, we just want to see more voices out there. Don't be afraid. Don't think you have to do something that people are looking for. Just be you. And I think you'll see the more you just put out there, and anyone watching at home, we need more women voices in this fight. We absolutely need more women to stand up and protect our children, protect the next generation. So we welcome you. We want you to be loud and proud. We want to hear your voices. So don't really worry about what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Because your target audience is out here, and we want to hear you just be you and present the way you think it should be presented.
And usually if you have a question about something like, why don't I see this? Everybody else usually has the same question. Yeah. And so just create content like that. Yeah. And I think it'll be fine. And also too, something I've never seen, and maybe it exists, I just haven't seen it, is I've noticed, and I love that the fact that when women creators create content for women, but I've never seen a woman creator just create content for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to specialize in women just because you're a woman. You'll develop female followers by virtue of being a woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I've never watched anyone because it was
Yeah.
a man, a woman,
never
black,
thought of it.
white, nothing like that. I watch stuff because I find it interesting. So I think the
Yeah.
biggest challenge is women sometimes feel like they have to fit this mold. And I think, honestly, just be legit. Tell an honest story.
Yeah.
Like, develop skills and take people along for the ride. Like, that's the important thing. And I think that gun bunny culture is, like, very damaging, ultimately, to... It doesn't affect me at all because I don't care, but it affects you guys, honestly, a lot. Like women out there, like I think it is ultimately damaging because when you look at who your audience might be, whether it's somebody who wants to see something legit or a girl who wants to look up to somebody or a boy who wants to look up to somebody or whatever. Like I think that ultimately it comes down to that, and I think that we sometimes do ourselves a disservice by trying to fit molds.
I think one of the challenges is that women oftentimes will slide into the role being forced by the comment section or something of being like a sexual being. Like that's where they get pushed. And they go, oh, this content is doing well, I'll keep doing that. And it takes them farther away. We stray farther, you know? And I see it all the time. And it ends up being, hey, all I'm doing is posing with a gun. I'm not providing real value. And what I want to see is somebody providing value, not just to women. That is an excellent point. Yeah. None of us are creating content for men. Right. We just happen to be men that make content that other men like. But we also want women to watch. You know, so go make content for everybody, right?
Yeah.
And so one thing I think is interesting, rather, is that there are women that I see anyway putting out very good pro two-way information, but it's usually on Instagram or Twitter. I don't know why.
That's a very good
I don't
point.
know why, but they just need to make the jump, I guess.
I want to point out real quick that one of the things that I think drives women crazy, but some of us too, when you walk into a gun shop and you have a guy behind the counter tell a woman that the bright pink pistol in the case is the perfect gun for her.
And yes, that still happens.
Yes, and I think that goes along with the videos too. I can't put a video together on the most effective ways to conceal carry during the summer in a hot, humid climate. That's just not in my wheelhouse. I think that, you know, some of the ladies out there that are putting videos together, there's a huge niche out there that they could definitely be a part of that we can't fill that, and if we do, it's not legit. So I think that would be awesome. I mean, if somebody were creating, you know, if somebody tells you this is the purse you need to use to conceal carry, and it's me or him doing that, I'm not sure I would take that advice. At least, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see who might have the best purse up here.
My wife actually asked me not too long ago, a couple months ago, she's like, what kind of holster would I wear with this? I sent her Brooke's Instagram channel. So, like, there's so much value out there.
As the only gun bunny up here, I think
that is true.
My opinion is that I truly don't care. I'm really excited to see female involvement in the shooting sports and in the gun industry. I don't care how you do it, whatever your assets are. I don't care. Like, I'm just really stoked anytime I see a woman creator out there doing whatever it is she's doing. Yeah. I'm here for it.
Rad. Thanks for the question. We appreciate it.
As long as her shorts aren't any longer than mine.
Yeah. That's a great question. Great question. Hey, why don't we go to the online questions? Do we have one, Orly?
Is this
Tricky Mike.
That we do. It's been, I guess, spammed in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and tackle it now. James.
This is good. This is good. He's giggling.
It's the brown bag. It's drawing questions.
I'm afraid I don't know what you're referring to. I see no brown bag. All right, it's Black Cherry White Claw. Come on, get off me.
I'm proud of you.
Yes.
It's good that you let that out. Thanks, Orly. We have another one?
Yeah, we got sorry about that. Richard Torres is asking the panel themselves, main reason y'all started your channels, obviously not for money, was it for, what was the reason?
Sure. Let's try and keep this simple, guys. Try and keep it simple. Go ahead, Mike.
So my wife bought a Glock 19 that didn't work, and I was pissed off.
There was no reloading information at the time, filling the hole.
Same. Nobody was telling people exactly how to read Old English or laws, so I did it.
I watched a few gun reviews that I didn't believe were honest, so I just wanted to
No.
at least take my shot at it and try to be honest in an industry that, doesn't always support that, so that's why I did it.
What about the outlaw?
Well, that's because I break the law a lot.
I've been working for the Firearm Blog for 10 years. My boss told me to do it. I was more than glad to do it. That's it.
Yeah, a gun store sold me a terrible gun, and so I started doing research, and then I just wanted to log my projects and take pictures of them and show people.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, if certain products were actually legit and nobody was covering certain firearm accessories on YouTube. So I was like, well, let me get them and figure it out.
I'm an editing geek. I love the editing process of videos, and I love guns, so it was a natural fit.
I would say that I wanted to find a way to make a video shorter than Nut and Fancy when I started like 10, 12 years ago. I thought I could do it better, and boy, was I wrong. 30-minute videos. Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to Bowers Group again. We're going to rotate it around to Henry Repeating Arms. Has anybody here ever shot a Henry? Yeah, look at all that. Thank you. We really, genuinely appreciate Henry. They supported us last year and again this year because they believe in everybody here. Let's get a question over here.
So someone had to come up here and stir
Speak into the
pot.
mic. Come a little
Someone had to come up and stir the pot a little bit. So you guys had a range day yesterday, right?
Sure did.
Who was the best shot? Who was the worst shot up here?
I
Chris-
was not the best.
Chris technically won a competition, so.
Oh, did he win? Okay, I never heard who won. There you go. There's your answer. Very short answer.
I don't think we were looking.
I think there's a lot of guys up here that can shoot the lights out, so to speak. Chris is just the combination of speed and violence.
He's just honest.
It helps me shoot.
All right. Make sure you get some tickets, brother. We appreciate it.
Hey,
My
guys.
man, faith kills fear. Y'all need to pay attention to this young man right here.
So, I've had the opportunity to know a lot of you guys personally. It's been a blessing to me.
Thanks, Brad.
And as somebody that creates some form of content, I know the work that goes into it. A lot of the people maybe don't know the work that goes into it. And what I had a conversation, I'm not going to say which one of you, but with one of you, and you said that you wore the wrong watch in a video, and it was an expensive watch.
It was Jared.
An expensive watch, and you got flamed in the comments because you had something expensive on your wrist. And that conversation stuck with me because it made me realize that there's a problem in the industry of a lack of appreciation for the amount of work that's involved in doing what you guys do. And I was kind of shocked to hear that people put down your success if you have financial success from what you do. And that was disappointing to me. So I know that's a speech and not a question. But
So what's your question?
my question is, do you think that can be fixed somehow so people stop giving you a hard time if
No.
you actually make it and are successful?
It's complicated. You know, it's really complicated because everybody comes from a different place. Maybe they're jealous. I don't know. That's a cop out, but maybe they are. Maybe they think we shouldn't make any money. Maybe they think this should all be free. Wouldn't that be nice, right? Maybe they think that.
And just human nature, nobody is a hater of people who are on a lower level than them, right? So it's just the way it works.
It's also damned if you do, damned if you don't. Recent comments, why don't you use more expensive optics like Zero Compromise? And I can't afford that. Why are you showing it? Like people want to tell me their financial situation, which I don't need to know.
They're projecting. They're projecting their frustration onto us, which is fine. You know, we're all pretty used to that. And it can be frustrating, but, you know, we just have to live our lives and try to do what's right for us and our lives. You know, we all make our own decisions, and I would argue that most of us are pretty, for lack of a better term, conservative with the amount of things that we buy for ourselves, right? We're not flaunting anything. People up here are not flaunting like, hey, I have a Lamborghini or some nonsense. You know, we're doing things that we're trying to make our lives better, do things for ourselves. You know, a small reward, like a watch for ourselves, or perhaps a gift. You know, that those sorts of things are taken out of context oftentimes. You know, like I bought a very expensive vehicle sitting out in the parking lot. You can see it. It's bright yellow right behind you. I'm staring at it through you. But, you know, that's something for my future. That's part of my business. And that's why I bought it. I didn't buy it because it was expensive. You know what I mean?
And it's a tax deduction.
I welcome it. I mean, I think just because I have X number of subscribers, like I should be immune to criticism. I think it's a great thing. There are a lot of people that say, don't read the comments. I agree, don't read the comments if you can't handle the comments. It's good to look at the comments. It's good to have that anonymity from people who watch your channel, who give you honest feedback, because there are no repercussions for them. Sure, are 90% of them trolls? I absolutely bet. Is what they're saying. I mean, somebody said the other day, I mean, I guess there are kids out here, so I'm not going to repeat. I had little bee feet, B word feet, which I thought was pretty funny. It's not true at all, you know, right? But then there are things that you look at, and if you see like maybe a show of opulence or somebody who seems like they gloat too much just because they have so many subscribers, that doesn't mean that if you're putting yourself out there, you're putting yourself out there, and you better be able to deal with it. And I think you need to look at those negative comments, and you need to look at yourself and introspect. They're very helpful in my opinion.
I think there's some truth in that, having leather skin, because honestly, when you put a video out, it's no longer yours. Like when you put it out on YouTube, it's everybody's who watches it, you know, and they have a right to give you the criticism if they watched it, and you have a right to receive it or not.
But I don't want to hear criticism.
And another big part is people, when you watch somebody on TV or on YouTube, they don't understand what you've done. They don't know that you worked 47 years to buy something, that you saved up, that you invested, that you've sacrificed. They don't get that. So that's why I don't take it too personal. Yeah, I happen to like watches. I like gold bars too. I just started buying those. You know, it is.
He
what
just
it is.
likes flexing on the pores.
They're in his yard, by the way.
Round of applause for Jared's gold bars.
And to be clear, it's not a gun industry thing. That's a humanity thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
People just envy other people that they swing up. You know what I mean?
I will say, though, like I'll touch on I do think, and I did too before I started YouTube, we highly underestimate how much we work. Even if we only put out like 2 videos a week or 1 video a week, there's like 80 hours a week easily, you know? And that's time you sacrifice away from your family and your kids. So, no, I appreciate you recognizing that. Thank you.
You know, I often forget that I'm actually doing work.
Right.
I'm just doing something on my phone or whatever. I'm, you know, having a conversation, and you don't realize it's actual work.
Until your family reminds you.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? Put the phone down.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Thank you, Brad.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent question. Come get some tickets, brother. We appreciate that. Round of applause for Brad. Faith kills fear. Follow him on Instagram. All right. We got a question over here on the right.
So if something was to happen and you guys were no longer able to produce any kind of firearm content,
OnlyFans.
would you would you still just switch topics and subjects and continue to create content, or would you just pursue something completely different?
So if the gun stuff went away, essentially, I mean, there's a van. I love making content. Yeah, there's a van down by the river. It's actually out in the parking lot. But I love making content, and the van thing has been a new challenge for me. It's presented new challenges. I've had to learn how to storytell in a different way for a different audience. I'm lucky that I've had 10 years of experience doing this, and I forgot how hard it is to start over and try something new. But it's been a reality check, and that's kind of a cool thing for me. So I'm going to keep pushing no matter what. I'm always going to be working for myself and creating content because it's great.
Yeah, same. I would create a new channel, do something else.
Yeah, same.
I do both. I'd still do my gunsmithing and just enjoy what I'm doing, but one of my passions is helping people, like 20-somethings on my team, find their career and their pathway. And so if I was going to create another channel, it might be something like that. A 20-something, what's a trade, service industry, tech industry, just finding that passion for work and being successful.
I'd probably get into politics and kick some of these anti-gunners out of their job.
Vote for Jared. A vote for Jared is a vote for the Second Amendment.
I'd be a lawyer. If he can do it, I can.
That's 100% true. 100. You'd be better at it.
I think it kind of depends on everyone's situation, because one of the risks we take to grow our channels, a lot of us, is if you don't have a team, you have to go full time. And so if your stuff goes away, you're broke. So going back to what y'all were talking about, like with Brad's question earlier about earning money, my goal is to earn enough so if things hit the fan and your income's yanked, that you can pay your bills while you rebuild something else.
Yeah.
I would try to keep making gun content, even if it was for free, but I would create a new channel because you learn a set of skills that you can apply to anything. So I'd start a mainstream channel just for money to support whatever free gun content I'd have to make,
Cats? A cat channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only feet.
Only kitties?
I feel like I would probably make the same exact videos. Fortunately, this is not how I feed my family, so I would probably continue to just do my day job and still make this content because I enjoy it so much, and I enjoy, honestly, this is not lip service, meeting and interacting with you guys and these guys up here. It's just, if you can do something that's this much fun and entertaining to you, I don't really think the money is the main reason why you do it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to steal your applause.
Wait. Let the applause happen. Go ahead.
Do it. Sorry.
There we go. That's better.
Totally hijacked it. Most of us are unemployable in the market, not because we're not talented at different things, but honestly, the things that we say and have to talk about are tough for mainstream society. I was a software engineer for the first half of my life, and at one point, it was like, we like shooting or continue this, and I was like, I'm going to do the one that lets me drive tanks and pet giraffes. So. But ultimately, in the corporate world, like, I'm unemployable at this point just because of the things that we talk about. And
Not only that, but it would cost a fortune because all of us have had to learn like 9 different jobs just to stay afloat.
Yeah.
So we would require some substantial, at least I would, some substantial salaries to go work for somebody else.
Pass.
Yeah.
Boo.
No comment.
Boo. All right. Thank you so much. Come get some tickets up here. Gavin's got a whole bunch of them. Round of applause for that question. That's a great question. All right. On the left, what's your name?
My name's Chris.
Wait for it. Is the mic on? Check.
Check.
Hey.
Hey, my name is Chris. I think it's a general consensus that you guys can say that getting good information out there, getting good content out to the masses helps the 2A community. It could also be argued that the algorithm can hinder that. Is there a way to fight that, and how would you do that?
Make good content.
And if that question is too deep, what's your guys' favorite Glock?
So I'll say this, as long as Demolition Ranch exists, the algorithm will work for some of us, but it will work against us at times. But if you think outside the box enough, you can trick it at times. Might not be super consistent like Demo Ranch, but it works for him. It could, theoretically, it should work for us, but sometimes it does work against us.
In theory.
Exactly, theoretically.
So are any of the other panelists here fully demonetized like I am?
I was.
Right next to you. Yeah.
Fully demonetized? I think that, for me, that's an uphill battle with the algorithm every day. Because why would YouTube want to show a video that's not going to make them any money, right? That's where the rubber hits the road. So
Share some videos. Like, if you guys watch a video that one of us makes up here, then just share it. Like, that's it. I think it would go a long way if people are like, you thumbs up, you subscribe, and you share. It really does work. So if you watched anything that anyone up here has made in the past 30 days and you like it, you should be sharing it on social or whatever.
And that trips
That's
the
my
algorithm.
2 cents.
Yeah.
That is the most important thing you could do to support what we do. It's not even close.
One other thing is if you click on one of our videos, like watch the whole thing, that's a huge indicator to YouTube that you're interested in the content. And if you can, like watch more. That's
Or if you get bored, turn the volume down, just let it play.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Like clicking off of a video after you start it is like the biggest indicator to YouTube that you hate the content,
That's
and
a
they
good
will not
point.
show that to you because subscribers don't matter anymore. Subscribers are unimportant. The people
the
at YouTube
algorithm.
have said it to the algorithm, and like the biggest indicators are engagement. So watching the entire thing, it's one of the first things that we see on our analytics dashboard. So like watching the whole thing and then watching additional content is one of those big things. And then you'll get a survey. Was this a good recommendation for you? To say yes, like helps even more. And obviously don't watch stuff you don't like, but you know, for the people that you do, like those are some key indicators that even me, like if I start watching a video from somebody, I finish it every time, no matter what, because I know how important it is to putting them more higher in my algorithm.
Yeah, like hitting mute. If you're like, oh, I gotta go do something else, or you got what you needed out of the video, hit mute, walk away. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Especially, if somebody up here has a video that I can't necessarily sit down and watch, I'll just let it play just to help my boys out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I can.
Which is such a weird thing. It's so weird that we have to live in a world where you got to do stuff like that. But hey, that's the reality.
Yeah. And Mike watches.
So good. Yeah.
Unknown.
Speaking to the mic, nobody can hear you.
So when you go and you pause the video, I had to take a piss, and then
Tinkle.
Go
This kid's
and
tinkle.
And you hit
whiz,
like resume it.
Yeah, as long as you
and then go
keep going.
resume.
Yeah.
Does that still count as you watch?
Yeah, it's percent viewed. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're like Mike, you've watched every video from every gun channel ever. Yeah, it's true. All of them, all at once, always.
Yeah.
Great question. Thank you so much. Come get some tickets, brother. Appreciate it. Do you have a question?
I do.
That's
well, it's
good.
not a question.
Wait. What's on your chest?
It is the Iowa.
And who signed that shirt?
It'd be Honest Outlaw.
Captain Iowa signed that one.
Straight representing.
That's great, man.
So,
What's your question?
I don't have a question, but I'm gonna call out
Oh boy.
some people.
Oh boy.
So we've already talked about a few of these people.
Okay.
Where's the Brandon Herreras? Where's the Demolition Ranch?
I guess that's a question for me.
Where,
Go ahead.
where are some of these people there that would make this a little bit bigger and better and badder?
Generally
Where
speaking,
are
I
those
cast
people at?
I cast a pretty wide net when I'm reaching out to folks
Right.
for this. Obviously, the guys that have a big audience make this a lot better, right?
Yes.
People have a pretty big draw. That's great for me. Some people can't make it work with their schedule. Some people don't return my emails. I'm not going to name names, but there are a lot of the heavy hitters, the guys that are really growing fast. They're very busy trying to keep that going.
Right.
And I don't blame them for doing what they need to do for their life. I would love to have them here.
Yeah.
Somebody came up and asked who would I love to have, and I said Garantham.
Big
I would
ass,
love
Garantham. That
love
was
to have
another
him.
one that
First
I
of all,
was
he's one
gonna
of the
say.
nicest. He's standing right behind you in line. Oh, there you go. Okay, so I got your question too. So if I could have somebody up here, I'd have Grantham because he's a genuinely nice person, and we get along really well. And that would be awesome. But, not everybody can be in Iowa at this time of year for GunCon. And I would love that. I would love to have more people,
This
but
got way
we
big.
shoehorn a
From
lot in
last
here.
year to this year, this got huge.
Thank you.
I mean, just to say.
I appreciate that, man. This was an enormous undertaking.
Yeah.
And last year, for those that don't know, last year's GunCon was 45 days or 5 weeks, something like that. Yeah, it was incredibly short, and we pulled out something really cool that has now turned into what you see before you. This was 7 months. To give you an idea, it's complicated. So I would love to answer your question. I would love to have more people. I would love to get those big guys, but they can't all make it work, and that's okay.
It's a step up this year. I mean, hell, we even got James. No short shorts, but I mean, shit, we got James this year.
And I will say, this is the second time I've done the panel. I love
right.
doing it.
That's right.
And, I missed it last year, probably the year before, because I had other stuff going on. I would hate for people to think that, I thought I was too good to be here or whatever, so it's like there are people, they have conflicts. I'm sure everybody in the community, everyone that you like, that you enjoy watching on YouTube, they probably got other stuff going on. It happens. I'm glad to be here. And by the way, this is a wonderful state. My first time here. I've gone to Casey's General Store twice today.
Hey,
today.
You gotta feed that Casey's gland.
And I'm
All
going
of us
back
Iowans,
tomorrow. I'm
next
getting
up,
breakfast pizza.
Gland that's right here, and you've got to feed it every now and again. Otherwise, you might die.
Next up, come and go.
Wow.
Thank you.
Hey, have you guys ever heard of Samson Manufacturing? Anybody ever heard of them? You guys ever heard of them? Cool. Go to samson-mfg.com because they supported this panel right here, and we really do appreciate them. They make some incredible stuff. Definitely check out their website. I can't hear you.
Samson Fab is based out of Waterloo, Iowa, about an hour 20 north of here.
Rad. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. All right, let's get another question. Left side.
Jeremy Weir.
What's your name?
Jeremy Weir. So I do the typical, go to work, go home, handle my business.
Can you get a little closer to the mic?
I do the typical go home, go to work, go home, handle my business, American stuff. Don't get a whole lot of TV time. I pretty much watch the news as I go to bed. That's about it. So the little bit of TV time I do get, 90% of it's right here. You guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks.
It's more of a quest of knowledge, really. The older I get, the more knowledge I just can't soak enough of it up. But Clint sits at the top. He's in the throne. You've spent some time with him. But
Clint Smith.
Yeah. You teach me the news. You teach me the reviews, new stuff, builds.
What's your question?
So if you guys realize it or not, you guys are teachers. We are all students.
Sure.
So who teaches you? You guys.
Oh, wow.
Failure. I will jump on this one. I'm sorry, guys, to just put it out there, but I see myself as a conduit. Look, man, I've never been in the military. I'm a scum-sucking lawyer,
That's very true. Very true.
I love guns. I love learning about them, and it's like today, my videos with Matt Hott of SimTech Consulting. It's about how to shoot your shotgun faster. I'm with you. I am a student, and everyone I bring on, I try not to speak authoritatively like this is the right thing, and if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. I seek out people who have broader experience. Do you think Clint knows how to use a camera? Hell no. So I'm glad to be there to help out my tactical uncle Clint and to bring his message to everybody out there. And I'm learning from him the same time you guys are. So, there are a lot of great people out there in this industry to learn from who, again, they don't have a platform or they don't know how to use YouTube or whatever. It's great to have people like this up here to bring that message to you guys. We're learning at the same time.
Yeah,
sure.
I would say YouTube, social media helps out a lot. I mean, I get access to people like, I dropped my phone. I get access to people like Larry Vickers, Jerry Michalek. I mean, half the people on this table taught me stuff before I even had a channel. I mean, I've been watching Mr. Guns Gear now for like 12 years. And you can get access to so many amazing people that are all experts in their field, whether it be camera work, microphones, shooting handguns, shooting rifles, long-range precision, and you can just find him. JJ Ricazza has an Instagram, and you can just check him out. He's one of the fastest shooters in the world, and he can teach you how to grip a gun in 5 minutes, and you don't have to go all the way to Wyoming or anything like that. And I really believe that that's like an underused resource people can use. You look at it on YouTube, and then you just replicate it.
One of the things that I like to do on a regular basis, I watch very little gun content because generally speaking, I can tell you what somebody's going to say by looking at their thumbnail or just knowing the person. Yeah. What gun is it? Who is it? I can tell you what they're going to say. And I think everybody up here could probably do the same thing. So I spend a lot of time watching other content and just trying to absorb, what these other guys in other communities are doing. It shifts all the time. It doesn't matter what it is, but I'm constantly trying to absorb what other people are doing that I like, and just trying to apply that to my life.
So my content is a little bit more specialized than most people's, and so my approach is to find the world's best and become their student. So like Gordy Gritter's world record setting rifles he builds, Bruce Tom from Bat Machine, Eric Cortina. Again, to have access to some of these people, it's such a privilege. And for me, I want to take all that knowledge and package it up so that I can help other people, if they want to build custom rifles or load their own ammo or do Cerakote or whatever it is. So, fortunately, people usually respond, because I have a following and all that. And it's so awesome to learn from the world's best.
Hell yeah. Great question. Thanks, man. Come get some tickets up here. We appreciate that. On the right, with a loud shirt.
It's me again. I'm Dave.
Amazing. Hi, Dave. Thanks for being here.
I asked you this question earlier. That gentleman kind of hit on it. But other than Grand Thumb and Brandon Herrera, which has been named multiple times, we have an awesome panel of people here. There was multiple panelists earlier in the day. If you guys could pick any of the other creators who are not here today, if you could each pick one, who would it be other than those people that have already been named?
We're going to start at the other end. Go ahead, Paul.
I will say this, it's selfish, but Max Michel, you mentioned JJ Racaza. Max is a friend of mine, and he has so much knowledge, but he's such a humble, quiet person. You have to actually be able to talk to him to get that out of him.
I can't even think right now. I'm trying to, there's so many, and I'm like, I don't know. Come back to me.
Okay.
Mr. Guns and Gear.
oh, wait. Is he here?
I can't see him.
Oh, there you are, Mike.
No, I'm like embarrassed. I'm on the spot. I'm the same way. It's like there's so many people. It's like I'm afraid that they're watching and they're going to be like, oh, man, James didn't
Well, I don't want to
me,
name one
so
because they're all so awesome.
Oh, boo.
Yeah.
Well,
Boo.
hopefully, if you name drop them, they might
Lawyers.
be more interested.
No,
to come
I
next
mean,
year.
well, always it goes to recency, right? Whenever you're trying to remember something. So it's like Ernest Langdon. Like I just filmed with him, and like Ernest Langdon, super, super nice guy, super talented, one of the best shooters out there. He can pick it up and shoot. JJ Racaza, again, he's been named. I love JJ. He's one of the nicest guys. And again, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I know I'm forgetting people, so it's like I'm terribly embarrassed right now, but that is a phenomenal
I got it. Mil-Spec Mojo.
Yeah. Yep, Mojo's great.
Yeah, I would probably say Jerry, just because every time I meet him, I get a little fangirly. So, yeah, he's kind of the reason I started my channel. I wanted to shoot like Jerry, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying.
Actually stole mine. I love Jerry. He's awesome to hang around with, and I think we need his knowledge out there, because the guys who have been doing it a lot longer than we have more. They've forgotten more than we know, and I think we need to perpetuate that knowledge.
I'd say it's someone like Haycock 45. I've met him at the SHOT Show. I don't know him. It'd be cool to hear him on a panel.
Aaron Kahn of Sage Dynamics.
Yeah, Aaron would be really cool.
Smart.
Yeah.
Super smart.
I landed on 1911 Syndicate. They couldn't make it. They were invited, but they couldn't make it. I love what they're doing. So, great question. Thank you.
I wouldn't count Clint as like a YouTuber, but it goes without saying.
Oh, my
like,
gosh.
If you can experience the human tidal wave that is Clint Smith in person, take advantage of it. I mean, the guy's like 1,000 years old now. Guys, get out to Oregon, go take a class with Uncle Clint. I swear to God, you won't regret it.
Jonathan, do you want to go?
Yeah, I did. I said Mil-Spec Mojo.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't hear that part. Well, great question. Thank you. Make sure you get some tickets. I just want to pause for a second and say thank you for sitting here for a long time and listening to all this and engaging in all this. You guys are incredible. Let's take a question on the left.
My name is Liberty. I'm curious if in the off and probably completely unlikely chance that when starting your YouTube channels, you ever dealt with what would be known as imposter syndrome. How long did it take for you to never have to feel it again?
I still feel it.
Yeah, I was like, I'll let you know if it ever goes away.
Yeah. You have to fight it every day. Because, like, for me, it was a learning experience, and so I learn as I go. And so I was leveraging YouTube as my way to learn. And I always think to myself, like, who am I to talk about this? But I kind of think the way James was referencing earlier about you're being more of a conduit of information that you've learned from those who are better and greater and smarter. And so I think that helps alleviate it, but it never goes away.
Yeah, I struggle with that all the time. It's this weird balance of, like, I don't matter and I have to matter. You know, this juggling act of this sort of mental gymnastics of how to make content while still being humble, insignificant, and not trying to be a douche. You know, like we've got a lot of experience, but you don't want to come across like a douche, but you have to use that experience. Oh, I wasn't in the military, so do I have the experience? Can I speak on this? Yeah. Some dude's going to yell at me and say I'm wrong. All of those things daily, 100% daily. You're never going to get rid of it. Push through. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you.
Great question. Thank you. Round of applause for that question. And guys, I want to give another shout out to Samson, of course. Big support. These guys, right? Raise your hands right in the front row. You guys want to know about Samson Manufacturing? They're literally sitting right here, front row, supporting this. And they did it financially as well, and we really, really do appreciate that. And, of course, we also appreciate Taurus. Taurus is right around the corner. If you guys haven't seen their booth, they're right over here. They make some incredible stuff, and go check them out. They also supported this. That is amazing. Let's go to Rod here on the right.
All right. Not really a question, but just kind of follow up on the female shooter aspect of it. One of the handgun manufacturers had come out with a female-oriented handgun product here recently.
Walther.
Well, the Sig Rose.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah, and I was on the phone with our Ruger rep, and he was saying he was at an event, and the ladies were actually coming up to him, explaining to him why they were buying the Rose. And they weren't saying, oh, it's a pretty gun. They were explaining the details of it.
They were woman-splaining?
Yeah,
that's
but
good.
the fact that, they had done the research, so it's great to see the female aspect, rather than just, oh, yeah, this is a pretty pink gun. No, I want it because of these features. So I just thought that it was great that the female shooter aspect is growing with the, rather than the visual, it's more of the features on it. So.
It's almost like they had a woman's input on that gun and it wasn't pink trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. What an amazing thing, right?
So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of follow up. When you mentioned the pretty pink gun, it just jarred my memory, and I wanted to share that with everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rod. Appreciate you. On the left.
Hello, my name's Sam. What are some of your top priorities for being a prepared citizen, but really more an active firearms owner? So obviously, you get a firearm, you're like, oh, I need some ammo, or like, medical training, maybe a class here or there, or oh, I really should be more active in the political side of things. What are your guys' kind of thoughts on that?
So are you saying, like, how are we fighting back? Is that the idea?
Kind of, but like, all right, so, you get a firearm and you're like, okay, well, I know I should take a class to be able to use the thing. I know I need some sort of medical, because you're more than likely going to be using medical more than actually using the firearm aspect. There's just so much variables that go into owning a firearm. What do you guys focus on?
Trying my best. I think it goes without saying that nobody has infinite time, and you can only do, so much in a given day. You can try to get that class in, try to get some reps of dry fire in, try to, throw a tourniquet on and practice that kind of stuff. You can do all those things as it comes, and nobody can do all of them all at once forever. So it's just about trying to get, hey, maybe one day, hey, I'll try this. It's just fun. Just trying to keep pushing and keeping it as a part of your life. Anybody else?
Self-serving, but have a lawyer. I think it's good to, seriously, I think it's good to have it, because if you ever get in a defensive, I'm the U.S. Law Shield Independent Program Attorney for Louisiana and Mississippi. I have gotten a lot of cases, charges totally dropped with people that still have to post bail, and that is, I had a girl she got attacked by her own brother who was high on meth, shoots him in the stomach, she gets processed for attempted murder. Her bail set at $700,000. She's got to pay $70,000. Even though we got all the charges dropped, she paid $70,000 that she's never, ever going to see again. And fortunately, she didn't have to pay for a lawyer because she had insurance coverage for that. But your homeowner's insurance or getting concealed handgun insurance or just knowing a lawyer, even if you do the right thing, you will be punished by the process. You will be arrested. You will be booked. You will be processed. You will spend at least a night in jail unless it's clear cut that you were doing what you're supposed to be doing. The law enforcement, and anyone up here with law enforcement experience I know can opine on this, they're going to say, take it to the judge. They're going to book you, they're going to bring you, and they don't want to get in trouble because they should have when they didn't. So lawyer, insurance, financial responsibility, whatever you want to call it, and keep it in your pants. Road rage, that's one I deal with all the time. 70% of the calls I get are road rage. So, you know, everybody, for whatever reason, gets all hopped up in traffic. Just look out for it.
And don't talk without your attorney.
Yeah, never talk to the
Exactly.
cops without talking to your attorney first.
But it sounds like you're on the right track, man. Learn how to poke holes, learn how to fix holes, and I don't know, hydrate.
Learn your state's laws, too.
Yeah.
You know, one of the biggest arguments that GOA made whenever they were fighting for the pistol brace thing was that there were going to be millions of Americans that were going to be made felons and don't know that they're going to be made felons. You have to learn the laws and know what you can or can't do, or at least what you're supposed to do and not do.
I would recommend a little physical training as well. You know, you are the weapon, not the gun.
That's a lot
I
of
would
work.
recommend some martial arts skills if possible. Maybe knowing how to run a little bit if you have to, knowing how to use cover, some tactics, you know, stuff like that. I would have a layered defense.
Thank you. Great question. Thank you so much. Get some tickets, brother. Let's, hey, Orly, do we have another online question? There's a whole bunch of people out there watching live right now, and we really, really genuinely appreciate it. A few of these guys were nice enough to allow us to broadcast on their channel as well. So if you're watching somewhere other than the Gun Collective, I really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Raise your hand if this is being broadcast on your channel right now. Yeah, these guys said yes, and that is amazing. That is effing amazing. Thank you, guys. I want that publicly known. You guys are incredible. Thank you. Online question.
Yeah, so we got a quick one, long one, short one, all that. Anybody who does gelatin testing, ballistic testing, dude's asking a good question, why shoot at 10 yards as opposed to 50 or 100 yards, which is more typical shooting distance? Would that change the bullet deformation, affect the...
All right, John, I know you're the gelatin guy, but statistically, if you have to defend yourself, you're not doing it at 50 or 100 yards. It's 3 to 7 yards is more likely, so that's probably why most testing's 10 yards in it.
That's why you need to get an attorney if you're shooting at 100 yards for self-defense.
Yeah, good point, good point.
I like it.
No, in all seriousness, I get that question a lot. And if you think of like an AR-15, for example, right, people will say that. And the same thing can be done at 10 yards with a, let's say, 12-inch barrel as a 16-inch barrel at 200 yards. I mean, that's
the ballistic
rough,
equivalent.
Correct. That's very rough, but it's true. So the distance doesn't really matter all that much with the testing.
Yeah, the projectile speed is what matters in that case. Now, I have done some silly. I've been a part of some silly ballistics testing, usually with Iraq veteran 88. That's one I would love to have seen here. We did a test. It was approximately 400 yards with a subsonic blackout. And that was a really interesting thing, and we learned stuff about how that bullet is presenting itself to the target. We learned about expansion and what these different projectiles can do. And I think it's really about what you're trying to take away from that test. Ballistic gelatin is a good medium, but it is not the end-all, be-all. It is a version of knowledge. Like, you're seeking to gain information. There are barriers to put in place. There are standards that the FBI holds and the military holds, which are different. The percentages of gelatin, all of these things are incredible. However, a lot of them require being a freaking nerd to understand what's happening, how something's rotating through. There's some incredible technology in projectiles right now. And I think it's really just something, honestly, if you can afford a gel block, go try it. Because it's one of the coolest things you can learn. Take your carry ammo out, get a gel block, share it with some buddies, put a couple rounds in there, and learn about what happens when you shoot. You know, because like Jared said, you're not going to shoot at 100 yards. You could do that test. I wouldn't say that that's a good self-defense representation, but maybe a hunting representation.
Right.
Maybe a hunting representation.
Yeah, we get that question a lot, and there is the ratio of the rotational speed to the actual forward speed. And so, like, you know, if you're downrange, you're going to preserve that rotational speed because it doesn't have the same air friction, right? So people are always asking us to do the 400, 500, 600-yard test. You've seen where we are. That would be quite a haul to pack up the hill.
So have you ever seen Mordor? That's where he lives. It's just covered in trees. They grew back. And How far did you hike that giant target?
That's out at 1280, 4-foot tall rock chuck target.
And how long did that take?
It wasn't that bad, actually. But it was
Okay.
about 55 pounds, the target alone.
So 55 pounds and you, up
Yeah.
a mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be difficult. Okay. I think we answered that question. Let me check my time. We're getting close. On the right, we got a question. What's your name?
My name's Scott. Do you guys think that maybe you underestimate the power that you guys present to the world right now, as in getting out your communication? TV is not like it was 10 years ago, right? So I'm going to use an example. When I started my business 3 years ago, I have not ever ran one ad, and I'm currently #1 on Google.
That's great. Good for you, man.
How does that happen? Communication, right?
Sure.
So the most dangerous weapon in the world is right here. You guys, I'm pointing, you could host a way bigger you're underestimating the power, because I have 6 of the most major gun dealers that don't even know this thing is going on in Iowa. But you know that. But
You know whose fault that is? That's their fault.
well, I'm one of them.
That is
and I'm the only one that
100% their fault.
I had to tell them. But what happens is, if you guys think outside the box, and you're doing a great job, but we're all talking about guns, our killings in the news, right?
Sure.
Kill people with kindness, every time. Never do negative.
So sorry. What's your question?
I mean, my question is, you guys have more power than anybody I've seen. Forget YouTube. You guys are us.
Okay.
There's no men. There's no women. We are together, right? I'd like to see us turn the channel about. We talk about guns. We all want to know about guns, but learn the world as we live today. Make our audience, because I mean, this would be gigantic. I don't gain audience by doing films. I do it because I care about people.
So you
that
said
goes 20.
You
I'm
said,
just saying- yes,
you
go ahead.
said, do you think we underestimate our power? Is that
Well, yeah, you're the TV of today, right? As in ABC. So I used to ABC Sports. I did all that. That's a whole different world right now. It's
right?
all internet.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah,
trunc-
I'm just trying
I'm
to.
trying
say,
to truncate.
You guys have a lot. You're. I don't want to say like the president, but we listen to you. Not only that, there's a lot more people. Don't go by your subscribers. If you have 7 million subscribers, quadruple. I mean, there's people talking about you.
Sure.
Amp it up. Now it takes money, but I think you guys are our talk. You guys have a lot of power, and I congratulate every one of you to take that chance, because criticism is the #1 killer, right? You have to be strong. You have to learn
Okay,
how to.
so
This
I'm
is
gonna-
like a
I'm gonna
bar
stop you.
exam
Stop you.
question.
No, I just.
I
can't
I am
understand.
powerful.
You know what? I'm going to tell you a quick story to handle that one. I realized the power, like very recently, that a lot of these folks have when I watched, live streams on YouTube. Traditionally, for me, have never been crazy performance, right? Yeah. And then I saw what Jared was doing, and the immense amount of people that are watching him for like 5 effing hours straight. That is power. And that was my realization of, whoa, something has shifted. Because it wasn't like that in the past. Something has shifted, and it's really incredible to watch that happen for all of these folks. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Come get some tickets. Let's do one over here on the left.
Hi, my name's John.
Hi, John.
This is for James and Chris. James,
thanks, brother.
1, are you going to start a shorts line since I see you're venturing out? 2, would you guys ever do a collab together, whether that be top 5, anything, rifles, pistols, anything like that?
Good question.
It's weird that you brought that up, because we actually talked about that yesterday. So what would you like to see?
I mean, 1, I really like your old Colt that you brought up. Like to see, I know you don't shoot it a lot, but to see a video on that. And I know like you redid that gun that was handed down and stuff like that on your channel. And I'm like, just something like that, just historical pieces or something that's very sentimental to you guys. And then 2, one other question, is there gonna be something put out for all the other YouTubers that are here that aren't very well known? Like I'm subscribed to, I think, half of you or over half.
Okay.
But I'd love to subscribe to a lot more of people.
Sure.
Here.
So in the video descriptions, we'll work on it. It'll take a couple days because we have to go home. But we will make sure that everybody's channels are linked and all the live stream stuff, all those things. We'll make sure that we get links to everybody's channels so you can check them out and all that sort of thing. All the panels will be like that. We appreciate that, man.
Before we move on, you didn't answer the shorts question.
I'll keep it brief. You know,
Thanks.
511 has been, that was kind of a pun. 511's been a sponsor of mine, like, since the beginning. You never forget who was with you whenever you came up, you know, so from the early days. So I have been working with them, but I find it's extremely difficult when you're working with a big company to, like, pass drafts back and forth and to get them to actually do something. I would love to. I frankly would love to. Clearly, I'm passionate about the shorts, man. I think they're the way to go. You know, ask my wife. She loves them too, and that's what matters. But, you know, if somebody's out there, you know, you're a really good tailor, holler at me. You know, we'll work on some 5.5-inch inseams. You know, we can do 6.5 and 7.5. You guys can work your way up.
TFB is a fashion blog.
That's it.
Hey, I just want to say thank you to you guys. Of course, also thank you to Taurus for supporting this portion of our live stream. That was incredible. You guys need to go check out their stuff right over here. If you're out there watching live, go to their website. We would really appreciate that. I also want to say a huge thank you to the gentleman to my left on this stage. Let's give them a massive round of applause for supporting this.
John, I don't want to hijack things, but we got to get the last guy. We got. I mean, it's 6. I know we got to go, but can we get the last guy?
One guy. Go ahead.
So my question is mainly for Chris, but I guess multi of you might have experience with it. You recently released a video where you took, I think it was a 2-inch revolver, and you shoot pistols incredibly well with 6-inch barrels all the way down. When you were testing it, you started close, and then I think you went back to about 75 yards, and we're not sure if you could hit a target.
Yep.
And on the first trigger pull, you rang steel and were shocked.
Yeah.
And your wife was like, "You hit that." I know you probably have 1 million, 2 million rounds shooting pistols. I'm nowhere near that. How do I get to be as proficient a pistol shooter without having that extensive knowledge where I can pick up, say, any pistol cold and be, I don't want to use extremely accurate, but very accurate with it?
Well, first I would say that you do have to have some experiences. There's like no shortcuts, you know, but it's fun, right? So if you go out there and shoot, you're having a good time. But I think the main thing is just trying a bunch of different stuff. I'm forced to shoot so much different like platforms on my channel. So I get used to shooting weird stuff, you know, and you kind of get like I don't know how I want to say this.
Like a
you kind of get an
general
idea
feel?
of where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're more or less kind of aiming with your mind as opposed to with your eyes, if that makes any sense. But as far as like 2-inch revolvers go, I mean, the barrels are accurate. It's just your trigger finger. You know, you're shooting a small sight radius with a very long double action pull. And if you can enhance your grip enough to where the gun's not going to move, the gun is going to hit. You know, and it just takes a lot of practice, and just keep your eye on the front sight and it'll get there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Come up and get some tickets, brother. Make sure that you guys are taking those tickets that you got and you go around all the booths and put them tickets in, because we're going to start the giveaways in a little bit after we shut this down. Now, thank you to all of you gentlemen for caring about this and supporting this event. I really do appreciate you. Massive, massive round of applause for these guys. No, seriously.
Thank you, John, for putting it on.
Yes. Thanks.
Thanks to everybody who came. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to give another shout out to the Brownells brand team. Where's Josh? I just saw him disappear. Josh Coburn. Wherever he is, thanks to Josh. All right. That's going to be it for this live stream, the Elite Panel. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being a part of it. The in-person giveaways will start very soon. Thanks, guys.
I'll text you. Is that your cell?